Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Ish, and welcome to the Relentless Project, where we dive deep into the stories of those who push boundaries and break limits. I just want to take a second to shout out a few companies who've believed in me. These were one of our first official sponsors, so huge shout out. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Carbo Jewelers, established in 1997 on the values of honesty and integrity. Whether you're searching for the perfect piece, need expert repair services, visit Carbo Jewelers in Newark's Ironbound District, where your jewelry is always in safe hands. This episode is also brought to you by Continental Jewelers, proudly serving Hudson County, New Jersey since 1964. Whether you're seeking a timeless piece or need expert repairs, they've got you covered. Visit Continental Jewelers, your trusted source for all things jewelry. You can find them on Instagram at Carbo Jewelers or online at carbojewelers.com. Lastly, big shout out to Carbo Trading. Besides coins, precious metals, and jewelry, if it could be traded and collected, he's probably got it. They can be found on Instagram at carbo.trading. You can find all of our sponsors out online on our sponsor page at therelentlessproject.com. Now let's get started with this week's episode.
I've given up on a lot of shit that I thought I wanted to do, and I think a lot of people do this probably.
It's a common theme.
At some point, like if you really want to do something cool or you think it's cool, you just have to fucking keep doing it. Like right now things are like slow and everything, but like this is what I want to do. So we're just going.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
Welcome back to the Relentless Project. I'm Ish, and I'm here with Ryan Trainor. Is that how you say it, right?
Yeah, Trainor.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a little different type of guest, right? I've had a lot of MMA guys and girls, and well, mostly guys. So
I'll have that.
When Judd was telling me about what you got going on, I was like kind of excited because that's something I've always wanted to do. So we're going to dive into that. Before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do right now for fun, for work?
Well, for work, I'm a carpenter. Been doing that for like 10 years. That's not really what I do for fun though. I mean,
pays the bills.
Right. That's it. Every now and then, I get to build something I want to build and that's fun. But
I was looking for a table for the longest time.
Yeah.
I should just connections, man. I should just had you build one instead of bought one from Wayfair.
That's nice though. Be all right.
I'll go with it.
But yeah, doing the firearms training stuff. I started wanting to teach probably like 3 years ago. I've been into it for a long time before that. That's kind of my fun thing now.
You're a gun guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's your go-to pistol?
Glock 17.
Thank you. It's like it's like I feel like there's a curve, right? Like you get the guys or girls who like get into firearms and they're clueless, which is obvious because you're starting off, and then they start going down the rabbit hole, and then next thing you know, staccato comes out, and you're like, what do you like? Hold on.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Yeah. What's your opinions on the staccato?
They're cool.
Flashy, right?
Yeah,
that's about it.
1911s in general are nice to shoot, but
I wouldn't carry one.
No. I have some buddies who do, but...
Have you heard of the shadow systems?
Yeah.
What do you think about the shadow systems?
They're fine, too. They're Glocks still.
Tricked out Glocks.
I don't think they're too crazy, for whatever the price difference is. I don't think...
And that's the thing, like, as a cop, I can get a Glock for, like, $300.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go spend $700-800 on the same gun with a few extra bells and whistles.
A gold barrel, maybe.
Yeah, what I do like about it is, though... It's the grip is angled differently for the optic.
Yeah.
But how do you offset that? Train.
Right. That's it. It's funny. I shoot pretty much only Glocks now, and I pick anything up, and I go to present, and the sights just aren't there because my hand and my wrist is so used to the Glock grip angle that it takes a second to get.
Do you run an optic?
Yeah.
So I've run an optic for about 3-4 years now, and I'm at the point where it's like second nature.
Yeah. It's.
Which is crazy because when I first started and when I'm teaching people first starting off, they're like, "Man, this is dumb. Like, how'd you get into this?" I'm like, "You need thousands of rounds until you just break it in.
Yeah. And with the red dots, a lot of people, like newer guys, they'll get them. Oh, I can't find the dot. Well, that means you probably can't shoot iron sights either. Because if you present and your iron sights are lined up, the dot's going to be there every time.
Of course.
Of course. It's all right.
Yeah, and it what it does is it definitely it shows you everything that you are like missing with the irons, right? Like the dots start shaking like this,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, your grip is probably too strong, or you're not fixing your weapon, or
It'll show you which way the gun's moving every time it shoots. You know, if your dot's going up and to the left a little bit, whatever, it shows you exactly what's going on.
that's what I like about it. It's a good tool. Definitely train irons, but if you run optic, it's like the best thing. I run into this at work a lot where people are hesitant to switch to optics. What would you tell that person what do you normally tell people, since you're around guns a lot? What do you normally tell people who are like, my favorite, the old heads? Oh, I got by with just irons.
A lot of that is we've done it this way forever. And that, okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, but I'm going to tell you why I like it better, like some of the reasons we just talked about. And ultimately the decision's up to them. But, I'll try to talk them into it.
I always try to talk people into it. What got you into firearms? Because usually you see people who are military, law enforcement, some sort of something like that. What got you into, other than being good old American?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been, like everyone probably says, I've been around it my whole life, And then, I don't know, my dad started doing a little bit of IDPA stuff back when I really was kind of hardly into it. He was like, come out and try this stuff with me. It's like, okay, sure.
What age did you have a gun in your hand?
What age?
Yeah, what age was the first time you had a gun?
It's tough to remember exactly, but between 8 and 11, I got my first Henry lever action 22.
Hey.
Yeah. Yep. I still have it. It's still one of my favorite things to shoot.
Those things last forever.
Yeah.
Probably pass it down.
That's the plan.
You said you got into, you were also a little bit into martial arts too.
Yeah, so I started Muay Thai Stout, actually. I was there for a few years, and then
Shout out Stout.
yeah, so we can get into it.
That's my home gym. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
I respect everybody there, and I like everybody there, but some of the newer people there might not even know about like when they kind of split and the Muay Thai team like left and did their own thing.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so do you ever hear anybody talk about? I don't want to say his name.
You don't gotta say his name.
The old head Muay Thai instructor.
Don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I've only been there 3 to 4 years, and and in the beginning, I was just strictly jiu-jitsu.
Right.
It wasn't until the last year or two where I like even started venturing and being like, oh man, what are they doing on that side?
Yeah. Well, it's hard when you want to get good at one thing. I had that problem too. I wanted to get good at Muay Thai, and I dabbled in jiu-jitsu a little bit, and then it's like, well, I could be just doing Muay Thai right now and spending the time on that. So, that's
yeah.
what I did.
How do you balance that with firearms too, right? Like people want to dial in pistols, and there's rifle, there's shotgun. Is there certain things you specialize in?
For most people that they just want to carry a gun, start with pistol. One, it takes a lot longer to get good with the pistol, I think. And two, hopefully not, but it's probably going to be the most likely thing that you're going to use. So spend the most time on that.
What got you into? I jump everywhere, bro.
That's all right. So do I. This is good because this is like feeding my ADD.
Yeah,
Perfect.
dude. Same, dude. When I have someone else with that, it's like we balance.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It depends on the situation. What got you into Muay Thai? A lot of people, you know how many people. I said this a while ago. I had to do some research for how many people practice martial arts in the world, counting professional fighters and. Do you know how many people train a martial art? And this is counting people who do it as hobbies at least once a week. I believe the statistic was. Do you know the percentage of the world?
Percentage?
I'll help you. It's in
3.
single digit. 1%.
Yeah.
1% of people train martial arts.
That's crazy. You would think even all the more traditional martial arts, the number would be higher than that.
You would think with how many, I don't want to get race into here, but how many people in China...
Right.
And they all that's their culture.
Or Korea
or Korea.
Yeah.
You would think there's more people. 1% was the number.
Wow.
It's crazy. So what got you into it? What made you decide to dabble in the Thai of Muay?
UFC probably. Back in like the
Golden era.
Chuck Liddell days. That's when I started watching again with my dad. And then saw Anderson Silva like everyone did. And it's kind of funny because like Joe Rogan would talk about how his Muay Thai was, how it was like spectacular. I didn't like, he'd fuck me up. But like for UFC, yeah, he's legit. But
in the realm of, so you obviously dialed into Muay Thai. How different is it someone who like trains Muay Thai and competes in a level of like UFC, and then compared to like people overseas who drill Muay Thai for a living? Like, is there a crazy difference? Well, I don't follow Muay Thai, so
I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be like the world expert on Muay Thai.
You know more than I do.
But I mean, so what if someone who only does jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu compared to someone who does it as something to add on to their skill set, but it's not their whole skill set? The same kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because a lot of people look at the UFC as like the end all be all, right? Like if they have a winning record in UFC, they're the best in all of the above, and it's like, oh no, because there's people who winning records and you put them in a gym with a blue belt and they'll get destroyed.
Right.
So that makes sense. So you dabbled and you do firearms, carpentry. We're gonna build a table.
Sure.
Tell us about what led you to start Arc Readiness. Because it's funny, I was here setting up, and someone had mentioned like, "Oh, who's your next guest?" And I told them, they're like, "Is that the dude with Arc Readiness?" And I'm like, "How do you know?"
How do they know?
I don't know, but like, so I was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is cool.
Sweet.
This is cool." So
that's good to hear.
Apparently, they reached out to you a while ago or something, or I guess you had an event before or something like that. So like, it was tied to that, and I was
cool.
like,
I'm
"Oh,
glad someone knows who we are."
I was like, "Cool." Like I got him on, guys. I got him coming on.
Yeah, sweet. Well, whoever that was, thanks for knowing us.
That was Ethan.
Oh, all right. Ethan Merritt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he came to, we can get into one of me and Judd's other events.
Okay.
How did I get into teaching? I just liked it. Like once I got to a level I thought like it was appropriate. I like, teaching people I knew, stuff like that. It's just like teaching anything else. Like you explain something well enough and then people go, oh, and then they get it and they make the change and it just works. You're like, yes.
I love that feeling, man.
Yeah.
Like I love when I'm passionate about something and then someone else is like, oh, can I learn about that? I'm like, yeah, of course. Because I love this so much.
I know.
Yeah, here's everything I know. Like,
yeah. And so I started it actually a couple years ago and just kind of like now it was just tough. It's tough making a name and getting people to sign up. So I kind of just like, I'll put that to the side. I'll do it later. And it's probably better because I'm way better now as a shooter and even more importantly, I think at teaching than I was then. So it's probably better. I would have gotten, I think, to the point I'm at now either way. But I think now I can offer a better
I feel you learn better if you're able to teach it.
Yeah, for sure. It shows how well you know things.
Even if you don't, like, the whole fake it till you make it thing. Unfortunately, too many people are doing that nowadays. But if you have a good understanding of something and you're teaching it to your friends, you're forcing yourself to learn every angle, every aspect. So you end up bettering yourself while you're teaching others to do it.
Right. As you're learning it, you see like, oh, I'm doing this wrong, so I need to change this. But then someone else might be making completely different mistakes. And you're like, oh, I haven't seen that before. How do we fix it? And you work on it, and then you have that going forward to teach other people.
So I'm a business dude. I like names, brands.
Yeah.
Why Arc Readiness? What's Arc stand for?
It stands for Armed, Responsible, and Capable. Yeah. And readiness was just because like high-speed gunfighter tactical solutions was already taken. So
honesty, I like it. No, that's cool. So armed, ready, and capable.
Yeah.
Which every citizen
responsible.
should responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
Armed, ready, capable, readiness wouldn't make sense. So armed,
responsible.
Dude, my brain. Armed, responsible, and capable.
Yeah.
Which every person should be. I think especially men have a duty to society to be those things. armed,
At the
responsible,
very
and
least, their
capable.
families. And the people directly
at
around
the
them.
very least, your families.
Right.
If you can't protect your home, what do
Yeah.
you cops? I'm a cop. I love
Right.
cops, but
How long are they going to take to get there? Not like shitting on you guys,
no,
but
no, bro.
longer than it takes somebody to get in your door.
I am all about, like, I watch those videos online and I shred them apart because that's how you better yourself, right? Not the Monday Night Quarterback, but if we just watched every cop video and went, but they're cops, it's fine. No.
Yeah.
No. You should be held to a higher standard. If you're an instructor, you should be held to a higher standard. If you do this for a living and this is something you're passionate about, you should be held to a higher standard. You know, we see that in gyms, jiu-jitsu gyms all the time, right? Someone opens up they call them McDojos, you know, and this dude's teaching. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Blows my mind how people that take those classes don't see that some of it is just bullshit.
I think it's like multifaceted, right? One, they like the dude so much and they go there and they're like, oh, okay, but like he hasn't steered me wrong in anything else.
Yeah.
So I think it falls into that category. And another category is people are just so clueless and wanting to learn that they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we'll try this, you
Yeah.
know? And because you can see a lot, and they usually prey on people like that. Like I've seen these gyms, especially that McDojo page. I follow that dude. Actually, when I was at Vegas at CJI, I went to go take a piss, and dude's just standing there talking to someone. I'm like, I've seen him before. Oh, that's the dude off Instagram.
That's funny.
I ain't want to be that guy. Like, yeah, bro, what's up? But it was cool. Like it was cool. Dude, he was talking to everybody. But yeah, when you see these videos, they like prey on these people. When you see it in the firearms community too, not to shit on like indoor ranges, but I'm gonna shit on indoor ranges.
Go ahead. I'm all for it.
I go to this range and, you know, I'm a cop. It was before they opened. And I'm like, hey, like we had just got out of carriers. So I went in and it was the VIP members, if you purchase your membership before they open, they had like this open house. So I asked them like, hey, is there a day I can come in? You know, local law enforcement, we just got new vests. I wanna run my vest, make sure everything's set nicely. And get some reps off the vest because I don't want to wear it the first day without ever doing that. Oh, well, that's kind of a liability. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. It's a business. He's like, yeah, we're going to have to get one of our range officers behind you, and you can get 10 reps. And I'm taking whatever. You know, I'm like, okay, I get it. You have a business to run. Bro, the range officer they put behind me, I'm like, dude. He was clueless. I literally went, and I have a Glock 17. He's like, oh, is your safety on?
Doesn't exist,
Like,
dude.
yeah. My finger's not on the trigger, I guess. Yeah, safety's on. Actually, Glock has 3 safeties. Yeah, they're internal. Right. But I'm like, that simple thing, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's the dude responsible for my safety on the range. I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So early, like when I thought I needed to get certifications and all this other stuff to be an instructor, kind of like validate myself and everything. So I went through the NRA thing, and I don't want to shit on every NRA instructor, but please don't go. Like the people who were supposed to be certifying me, like couldn't do half of what I was doing in these classes that I was taking to become their instructor. And they were like, I don't mean to sound like braggy, but they were like, whoa, like you need to be able to do at least this if you're going to be.
You do a mag change, and you're like, wow, dude. I'm like, this is just a mag change.
Just like kind of quick, like splits on a target 10 feet away. And they're like, whoa, like, what?
It's mind-boggling, especially with something like firearms, where it's like you're teaching people this stuff.
And the people that like are in the classes, the instructor classes with me, I was like, oh no, I hope they never.
I feel the same way with some of these law enforcement ones I've gone. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be a cop.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Fuck it, because this is my podcast. I can do whatever the fuck I want here.
That's right.
I'm at a state police. I'm not going to tell you what state. I'm at a state police, and the majority of the instructors in this class, it was an instructor class, were state cops, maybe troopers, whatever this state calls them. It was PA. Fuck it. So I'm there, and we're doing a rifle drill, and I'm looking at the dude's rifle, and there's no mag in it. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's just on the line. Instructor goes up, I'm like, well, dude, if you're going to put your mag in, you should put it in now. You know, the drill starts, fire, click, worst sound you can get.
Yeah.
Fucking chambers, click. I'm like, dude, he did it 3 times
Before you
the
realized.
instructor was like, no, he didn't realize. The instructor was like, what are you doing? And luckily, the instructors there like tore him a fucking new asshole. But I'm like, the first thing you check, mag seated. Okay. You didn't even have it. You didn't even have it in there. So I go to all kinds of trainings for DT and for firearms because I feel like you can pull something from either what to do or what not to do from most of these places. And some of the people in these classes, I'm like, you don't take this serious. Why are you here? Like, why are you here? Because you have to be. Your department's making you. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're doing yourself and your department a disservice.
So I hear a lot about people saying like cops don't train. What do you think about, like, is it pretty accurate?
Yeah, it's so accurate. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
So, in my experience, it's all about money. I'm not getting paid to do it. And it bothers me because I'm like, but you took a job where you're responsible for, one, your own safety. You want to make it, like, it's a dangerous job. You want to make it home.
Right.
That should be the fucking main reason to train. Like,
Yeah.
But if you need more, you're in charge of the lives and safety and well-being of citizens. Kind of a big deal, you know, your families.
Right.
Because you're putting yourself out there, your families tend to take the brunt of it. I was on a transport a couple months ago, dude. So I'm gonna fucking find you. I'm gonna rape you. I'm gonna rape your kid. I'm like, bro, if I ever see you, and you can't say this obviously, but I'm like, if I see you anywhere near my house, I'm fucking rearranging your life. Like please stop.
Yeah.
I get it. You're upset. You're in jail because you beat your girl. Like, I get it. Don't take it out on me.
Right.
But that is a reality.
Right.
My last apartment, I had a hit for $300,000 put on me. The dude didn't have a dollar to his name, but he was affiliated with a gang out of Detroit. And people were concerned, like, well, I mean, if people take this serious. So the threat to your family's there, the threat to you's there. And that's not enough for you to train because, I'm not getting paid for it. Yeah. You took a job that requires you to be good, not just average, but you have to be good at self-defense. You have to be good at, attacking, controlling a human, firearms, school shooting. You get a guy who doesn't train firearms. Yeah. That's a liability.
And then you have a bunch of cops standing outside of a school while you're getting shot.
Which has happened, you know, and there's a lot to that story. But when the video comes out, there's a dude, and maybe it was a nervous habit, checking hand sanitizer. And I'm guilty of that. COVID fucked me, dude. When I see one, I just go, and I'm like, why'd I do that? So it could have been something like that. But in the end, the SOPs that were written by that chief. That chief was also supposed to be incident command. And apparently he was like in the school, or it's like, they don't even know what they're doing. Yeah. They dotted the I, crossed the T, or no, they checked the box.
Yeah.
They checked the box. Okay, all the things required are done. Never tried to do it or planned it through or ran. Like, I'm very fortunate in my department. A lot of the guys train, they train in the gym, do firearms on their own. A lot of them go to jiu-jitsu. We have a professional boxer at our gym. I've had him on the podcast a few times. But then I'll go to training with other departments, and I'm like, why don't you guys find, like, dudes overweight, chicks overweight, which is, overweight's one thing. Technically, I'm overweight, but just sloppy. Yeah. No care about what them, like, how they look or being able to move or being mobile. And then you see them on the range and they can't get their gun out of their holster. It's like, is the only time you train when you qual? Because that's not training.
No.
You're putting lead on pieces of paper that are just standing there not shooting back. That's not training.
Right.
In my department, I'm one of our firearms instructors, and we all got together and we're like, hey, we know what the minimum, the bottom line is for MOPEC or MOPOTEC or whatever you guys call it. But we need to up this up a little bit. And every time we move the line forward because we want the end of the goal is to push the line so everyone improves.
Right.
Like, we have a tack shoot coming up tomorrow where we're shooting out of cars, in cars, we're shooting at cars, how to move. So, like, I've never been to a department that's done that.
That's wild to me.
And it blows my mind because what do we spend the most of our time in?
Cars.
A car.
Yeah. That's wild.
Like fighting in the car. When I went to that class that Judd was at, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying his name, but I went to a class.
He was on the news talking about training, so.
Oh, fuck him, man. Fuck him. You're getting put on blast. No, we're in this class, and I was the only one who signed up, and one of our other DT instructors. No one else signed up, and I blasted it out to our department. And I get it. A lot of the guys don't like to train fighting because I have a gun. That's another thing. I'll just shoot them. Bro, say that out loud.
Yeah.
Let someone else hear you say that.
Yeah.
And they don't mean it, but in their mind is, oh, I'll never have to fight in a car. Bro, you know how many cops have been ripped out of their patrol cars?
A lot of regular people say shit like that too, though. That's their mentality. I'll just shoot them.
Or I'll black out. I'll just black out. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, I win. I can think through this fight and you can't?
You probably will, but not the way you're talking about. Yeah.
But that's why I believe cops don't train a lot. It's on them. Ultimately, it's always on you because you can go out and train on your own. But it's also on the politics, man. It's all money in the sense of, you have cops who do want to train and don't have a range in their area or a place they can go fight and knock people out.
Yeah.
Or get knocked out, have that feeling. And departments don't want to do that because of a liability. What if someone gets hurt while they're training? Then they fucking get hurt.
Someone gets killed at work.
Yeah. Well, you say that and they're like, well, I mean, we haven't had a physical altercation in 3 months. So it's like, bro, but what if?
All I think when I hear that is that like one's coming. I mean, I don't know. I don't tend to know your job, but.
No, it's true. And like the area I work tends to be on the news, a nicer area, but they don't hear about the shit. Like these people who pay all these taxes don't want to hear what's going on.
Right.
So the news don't go out there. It's like no matter what department you're at. Okay, let's do this. I want to steal something. Where do I want to steal from? Probably a nice house, nice area. You know what I mean? Our neighborhoods get cars stolen from. They're like, but I live in such a nice area.
Yeah, that's why they came here.
Why do you think they're here? And then you left your keys in the car. You gave it to them. Or I love when someone broke into my house. Well, we don't see any like forced entry. Oh no, I leave the door unlocked. So you let them in.
Right.
Like what if your kids were here after school? It blows my mind the thought process. Like what? But when you're so safe, you don't need any of this because this perception of safety has been put out there, and it's like no one's coming. We hear this all the time. It's kind of corny, but it's true. No one's coming to save you. Yeah. It's up to you. So that's why I believe a lot of cops. There's a lot of red tape, which there shouldn't be. Like our department's dope. Like we have a gym. Other departments have called us like, hey, we want to start one. What's your policy? And my chief's like, we don't have a fucking policy. Go work out. Like, go work out and don't be stupid. That's our policy.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I can't tell these other departments that. So, hey, we don't have one. We just train.
Yeah.
We have a grappling club once a month. Where, the first Sunday of every month, we come down, we roll, we go over, knife drills, wall drills. After that class, we fought outside of the car. We used the car as the wall. We used the door, the A-frame, like all. What do they call it? The gap. But we utilize all those principles, because I've been to classes like that. But I just went to his. It was phenomenal. It was fresh. I'm like, yo, let's drill this, because I want to do more.
Right.
So we're going to use this opportunity, and there's no really instructors on grappling day. The instructors put it together, but we're training too because we're trying to learn and polish up what we have, and it's not the stuff. And every quarter we have a defensive tactics training. Excuse me. Where we'll go over the MOPEC DT that just now became a requirement, which is cool, right? You're like, wow, now we're required to do combatives, handcuffing. That's the 4 hours of required combatives for the state. And you're just like, oh, man, you had it.
Yeah.
You had it. You were almost
so
there. But, yeah, that's why I believe not a lot. Why do you think not a lot of citizens train?
Money, maybe. But I believe that if you make it a priority, you can figure it out. And it's hard to do. It's hard to get good at. I think a lot of people just don't like sucking at things, being brand new, or taking the amount of time it takes to actually get good at things.
No, that makes sense. You get like stud athletes who've always been good at stuff, and then now you have to manipulate a little piece of metal to make it do what you want to do, and another piece of metal that comes out, and you're like, why can't I get this?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I think people just don't think it's that important. Like you said, they're so safe all the time. They're like, why do I need a gun, or I have one. It's in
my drawer.
the thing next to my bed.
A nightstand.
Yeah.
No, I just lost that word the other day. I was talking to my daughter, and I bought her a nightstand, and it stood there for like a week, and I didn't build it. And she's like, "Are you gonna build it?" And I also have to hang something up, right? She's like, "You haven't hung up my neon sign." I'm like, "But I built the thing by your bed." She's like, "My nightstand." I'm like, "Yeah, that I built that though." So that's next, baby steps.
There you go.
No, that's cool. So, what challenges did you face starting Arc Readiness? You know, you mentioned not having law enforcement and military, and unfortunately, people look at that as like you're a prior law, and people use that to their advantage, as you should, if done appropriately.
Right.
You know, you have a guy who spent 20 years on patrol, taking fraud calls, retires and starts a security agency. Oh, I was in law enforcement for 20 years. Oh, dope. Like, tell us what you did.
Yeah.
Frauds. Oh, we're going to put you in the other department, not security, though. It's like, you know, we get people who build these, or like the Navy SEALs are infamous for this, right? Like,
Right.
which if you're a Navy SEAL, you've kind of done your due diligence and things. But they're the ones who go out and like start these next level workouts and trainings and products. And you're like, oh, backed by a Navy SEAL.
Right.
How hard was it for you to start something in this space without having that to fall on?
It's still hard. I mean, it's been slow going still, but I think just proving to people, I guess, that I have to get people in to show them and prove it. You know, I don't have that, like, I did this overseas or, you know, anything like that. So.
But you're putting the time in.
Yeah, but nobody knows that or cares.
That social media, bro.
I'm working on it. I hate it so much.
I hate it, but it's especially like I was trying to be a ghost on social media, and then I launched this podcast. I'm like, oh well,
you have to do a little bit.
I have to do a little bit of it. So I it's like a double-edged sword. I like it because your story is going to be able to be shared. Arc Readiness is going to be shared. Oh, that's cool, right?
Right.
And I hate it because my fucking face has to be on it.
Yeah, and I'm terrible at like talking about myself or trying to make myself seem like.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, I think hopefully that's a good thing though, right?
It is because what you get on the opposite spectrum is people who love to talk about themselves too much and don't have anything to put forward, and you're like, you just love hearing yourself talk.
Yeah.
But I think it says something about a man who has a special skill set and they just hang back.
Yeah, I'm happy to show you, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Can I show you?
Yeah.
So speaking of show, you have you're calling it the readiness trials, right? What's that about? What sparked that? What's that?
That's something I've wanted to do for a couple of years. It's all of like the bigger things that I'm trying to do are things that I kind of wish somebody else was doing that I could just go sign up for, but they aren't. So now I'm doing it. That is kind of like USPSA match, but you got to do all kind of other skills that I think are important also with a little bit of fitness mixed in. So every stage is a shooting stage, but there's also say like emergency medical or de-escalation, something else involved with that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're actually adding that. I thought it was like fitness and shooting.
A little bit.
But
some stages have fitness elements to them, but there's other stages to test other skills.
So I like that, like stop the bleeding and stuff. See, I like that because how many people encounter something like that? Maybe it's one time in their life, the only time, and they're clueless.
Probably more often than you're gonna have to use your gun.
Yeah, and what people don't understand is like you think control the bleeding. People like us, what's the first thing we think about? Why would you need to control bleeding?
Yeah,
shooting, right, or something.
Car accident.
Yeah. Limb is hanging, or something's penetrating. Like there's so many other situations where this would become, useful. I think it's cool that you're including stuff like or de-escalation.
Yeah,
you're outside grocery shopping.
Yeah,
someone's in your mix, and like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, don't just shoot them.
Yeah,
that's where that.
That's not what we're gonna do.
Yeah, right. but that's
what other elements are you incorporating into this?
So there's different like weapon platform stages. It's not all just pistol, rifle and shotgun stages. There's de-escalation, and there's one. It's not like a necessary skill, but I threw it in there because I thought it'd be fun. It's a lock picking stage. You have to pick the lock to even access the shooting.
I've always wanted to learn that.
So do I. that's.
I'm about to buy an Amazon, like those see-through longs.
Yeah, they're good to show you how they work, but they're made to be picked. So like, you'll get confident on that, and then go to try something else, and you're like, why the fuck can't I do this? I just did it on the clear lock 18,000 times.
That I bought for this purpose.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, I guess. So buy a real lock picking kit. Okay, cool.
I mean, that's fine to learn, but you can also just watch videos to see how locks work and kind of get the same thing out of that.
It's also a good way to test patience.
Yeah.
You're hyped up. You've been blasting shit down range,
Yeah.
pumping out push-ups, and now you gotta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so if we sell this thing out, we're going to be like having to move people through pretty quick. So for that one, you're also only going to have a little bit of time to even get it, or else you fail and you got to move on. You'll get the worst score for that. You know what I mean?
do you ever do burpees like the Spartan? If you fail a stage, that was my worst thing. Dude, that got me through so many obstacles because I was like, I am not doing burpees.
Yeah, I did one a long time ago, and I only had one stage that I had to do that. So
mine was it was like baseballs hanging down. My grips were gone.
oh, like monkey bars, but baseballs. Yeah,
dude, I went to 2 and just fell, and the lady looked at me. She goes, I got it. So this is an event you've been planning.
It's something I wanted to do for a long time, and just didn't even know where to start, like logistically. And then I did a community training day last May that I did I planned all that myself, which was a day of me and 3 other training companies. We had 4 rounds of like an hour and a half. Everyone just went around to these different classes for free.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so it was like a taste.
It's like an open house. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a taste, hoping, to get people to sign up for these people's actual classes. And also just to like get people, here's what's out here, here's what you can learn, get a little taste, and then hopefully go sign up for a real class and get some training. So I did that. That next year, I'm going to charge a little bit of money. I wanted it to be free, and it was. But only half the people that signed up showed. What I asked everyone was like, everyone was just charged just a little bit so that they're like invested in it,
Accountability.
Yeah.
What you do is you charge $100, and if you show up, you get 50.
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, I got a guy who I partner with. The dude's ideas are stupid. Like, just he was throwing ideas. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm writing it down. And today we're setting up. He's like, I got an idea. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you because then you're going to get. I'm like, no, now I got it now. Like,
right.
He's just full of ideas. And you got to surround yourself with people like that, especially in this community, man. Like someone who sees it how you see it, and not just like, I can make money off this, or I can be associated with this. It's like someone who is invested in the vision you have for this thing, because it could be cool. This can be. I haven't seen anything like that around here. I've only heard of some tactical games.
Yeah,
but that's very
shooting one of those and on fitness. Saturday.
Is that where you're
doing? A mini one, yeah.
That's why we had to schedule it. I'm like, he's like, I'm going to be out all the time.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. But another opportunity for you to learn it and take. Dude, don't reinvent the wheel, man. Like, take something and make it better. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah, I don't see anyone doing exactly what this is going to be. So,
dude, that's a cool idea. When is this taking place?
November 3rd at Logan's Ferry Sportsman's Club. It's in, I don't know what the official address is, New Ken Plum.
Oh, area. So close.
Yeah.
Okay. November 3rd.
Yep. It's on a Sunday.
What time?
Starts at 9, but we got to get people there at like a little bit earlier that for registration and everything like that. So.
And how can people sign up if they just heard you talking about this? They're like, I want to test my. Is this for cops only, or is this for everyone?
No, it's for everyone. This is, we you can sign up at arcreadiness.com. It's on there under training. But I wanted this to be for everyone to like test what you know now at first. So I'm partnered with Judd from Know How Dynamics on this one. And I wanted to not really announce exactly what it was and just kind of test what people actually know, not what they can get ready for, But then Judd kind of made a good point. And this is why, sometimes you need help with some of this stuff. He's like, people aren't going to sign up for something. They have no idea what's going on. It's like, yeah, I see that.
Unless you market it as such.
I don't know how to do that yet.
Come figure out what you're made of.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted it to be in the beginning, but I also get what he's saying, and So yeah, for anyone who carries a gun, thinks they're ready, or maybe even just wants to find out why they aren't as prepared as they think they are.
And I think that's a cool thing too, is push it to people if you're listening. Because I got, like, the cool thing is I've had a lot of MMA people here, right? But a lot of my listeners don't do MMA.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a lot of messages like, oh man, I don't train jiu-jitsu or anything, but this, like, listening to this episode made me sign up for a triathlon.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you went from there to there, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then this lady ran it. She ran it. She gave herself a goal and beat the goal.
That's awesome.
But not because she does MMA, but because she listened to something. She was like, oh man,
She listened to someone talk about doing cool shit.
Yeah.
And then she went and did cool shit.
So I think this is a good opportunity for someone who, who's listening, who's like, man, I've never done something like this. How would I do?
Right.
Come find out.
That's it.
I do it. Actually, I may do it anyway. I'm on meniscus repair right now. But
it's not going to be crazy fitness, but enough to make you think if you're not kind of in shape, like, oh, maybe I should get in shape. Enough fitness for that.
I'm going to come anyway.
Do it.
If I got to get penalized for...
Actually, you know what? For anyone listening to this, we'll give you 10% off to sign up. I'll make a coupon code, Relentless. And I don't know when
my first coupon code.
Yeah.
Hey, my first coupon.
When is this going to come out?
This will come out Sunday.
Okay, it'll be up. That'll be ready to go by then.
15th, if
Perfect.
my math is right.
Yeah, Sunday's plenty of time for me to get that going on the website.
You mean today when people are listening? By the time you hear this, 10%
Right.
off.
Yeah.
Code Relentless.
Yeah.
ArcReadiness.com.
That's right.
Readiness trials.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'll make it for anything on my website.
Oh, damn, dude. Relentless.
Yeah, that's
my
right.
radio voice.
I like it.
Arc Readiness.
Sounds
the
like
Readiness trials.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Oh, come yes.
Okay, the Bobby
Absolutely.
Newport. That's the Bobby Newport voice.
Bro, that is that. Dude, Relentless, the code. You're my first Relentless, like, code. I've reached out to some people like, hey, would you like to partner up? Relentless. Like, I'm not asking for anything. I just, like, you can help me. I can help you. And they're like, oh, well, we're not really looking for that right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I'm a fucking bum podcast. Like, fuck off.
No,
but all right, Relentless, 10% off. Cool.
Yeah.
So how much is registration?
$100 for, normal. So $90.
$90 if you are listening to this podcast and just put Relentless and say, I was listening to Relentless. And I think Relentless is the coolest podcast that ever existed. And I think the readiness trials are a must.
Yeah, you got to leave all that in the order notes, though.
Yeah, that's just verbatim, so copy and paste. What is the vision you see coming from this event? Like, in 5 years, where do you want to see this?
So if this goes like we want it to, which it probably won't.
When?
It won't for the first time, but it will.
That's the learning curve.
Yeah. And I'd like to definitely yearly, but hopefully more often than that. Eventually, more bigger sponsors, better prizes,
How are you, what kind of sponsors are you looking for? What if someone's listening and they're like, oh, I can't
any
do
business
it,
that wants to, we have a whole like tiered, packages that we're offering, as well as some custom sponsorships. So
do you need a commentator for the event? I'll be on a table just like, oh,
sure.
Look at him go.
It's going to be tough. There's going to be 7 stages going on at the same time, so you're going to be all over the place.
Mind,
but I feel like you can probably handle that.
Mobile one, yeah, just mobile one.
Yeah.
Interviewing people as they get out of my face.
Yeah.
You're relentless. Yeah. No, that'll be cool. I think events like this are dope. Have you ever heard of Lodestone Training?
Yeah.
So they've kind of taken training to a whole.
I like those guys. They were at my community day.
Dude, they're solid people.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine, James Ashbacher. Shout out, James.
I met him at one of Lodestone's things. He probably doesn't remember, but I do.
That dude don't forget anything. So probably will remember. He'll probably be listening to this, but oh, it's so and so.
Yeah.
Dude will tell you. Wow, he's kind of creepy with how he does it, man. But
maybe.
Right now he is battling cancer. I have a GoFundMe if you guys are still looking to help him out. He's been going to Little Rock almost monthly. Man. Dude's still a stud though, man. Hasn't missed a beat. Lost some hair. He was already bald though, so that part's good. But still trains, still gets after it. But But he takes training to a whole nother level. He introduced me to those guys, and they do the
Light Fighter.
Light Fighter. Yeah.
That's where I met him last year.
And I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, people just signing up to do this for fun. That's what he did for his birthday.
Was his birthday was last year at that one?
Yeah, I believe it was last year. The one before that. He's like, hey, I'm signing this up. I'm signing up for this for my birthday. Do you want to do it? Thank God I had something to do that weekend, because I'm like, bro, I can't tell you no, but you're asking me to try to kill myself?
Last year was a shitty day. It just rained and was cold all day long for it.
Was he smiling? Because that's the type of shit he did.
Well, he was running the stage last year, I believe. So I think he was doing a little bit better than the rest of us. But
bro, he's the type of dude, it's like a miserable day, and he's like,
yeah.
Right? Huh? We could be inside where it's warm and dry, but we get to test ourselves out here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think we have that mindset right now. I'm miserable. But you need people like that, right? You need people to kind of pick you up when you feel like just fucking quitting. But, oh, that's cool. So it's going to be November 3rd. I'll plug this. And what I'll do is send me your logo, and I'll throw it at the end of the episode, and we'll run it. We'll run it. We'll create shorts and reels. You just got free marketing, bro.
Nice.
No, that's the whole premise of the podcast. If you jump on here and you have something and you pass, well, let's fucking push it. You know, like, I'm a big proponent of that. You said you've had some personal struggles that have gotten you here. Which we all have, but what are some you've gone through that kind of you've pushed through, and what are some things you've learned throughout that process?
So got me like to here to this event. I don't know. We'll just go with this. I've given up on a lot of shit that I thought I wanted to do, you know, and I think a lot of people do this probably.
It's a common theme.
At some point, like if you really want to do something cool or you think it's cool, you just have to fucking keep doing it. Like right now things are like slow and everything, but like this is what I want to do. So we're just going. This has become my tagline. If you remain relentless in your pursuit to your goal, you're bound to find success. It only makes sense.
Dude, if think about it. If you keep doing something long enough, you'll get good at it.
Right.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
What happens is people quit. Musicians, artists, actors, businesses. Look at Amazon. The dude who started Amazon failed at something else first.
Yeah.
Oprah failed before she became one of the biggest talk show hosts.
Right.
A lot of people failed, just kept going, and now Amazon's the biggest damn company.
Right.
Oprah gives out Cadillacs to her audience. Like me, I mean, not to pump myself up, but I started this, I believe, September of 23, and I've always wanted to start a podcast, but I hate talking like by myself. So I was like, it needs to be guest oriented.
Yeah.
Like I can't just. You'll notice in my episodes where I'm by myself, I mean, I ramble on this too, but like I feel like I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it by myself. I hate it. Like it's not about me, and I don't want it to be about me.
Right.
I was filming in my house or going to people's locations. Like I was at Stout interviewing fighters. I was at the Mat Factory. I went to people's offices. I was traveling, carrying all these hard cases. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, this is cool. I love learning about people in their environment.
Yeah.
But this is tough. Now we're in Relentless Studios
2.0.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like this opportunity came up through a guest.
Yeah.
I had a guest on here. He's like, hey, a buddy of mine owns the Penn Brewery. He has a bunch of offices in the back. You know, you should reach out to him. And I'm like, oh, dope. Reached out to him. Yep, now I'm here in my own damn studio doing whatever I want to do. I can be here how long I want. I don't got to tear down. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
I had to take all this shit down. Nope, not anymore.
That's awesome.
We're here. We're home.
That's it, man.
If you want to be on the Relentless project in the new studio, hit me up. He's the first one.
This place is pretty sweet.
How's it feel? Does it feel
It's
good?
awesome. Yeah, it's good.
I'll have fridges, a lounge out there.
Fuck yeah.
Beers. There's a brewery downstairs.
There you go.
You know, think about this. Finishing an episode, going downstairs, having a cold one, some food.
Yep.
So all that to say, I just kept doing it. I'm like, you know, I'll figure it out as I go. I've had cameras malfunction. I've had audio down. I've lost episodes. I could have quit at any point. I'm like, you know what? This is something I truly want to see through. So I kept going.
Right.
And who knows where it goes from here? You know, this is just another stepping block for you.
But
Another
definitely
stepping
way
block.
further than if you would have stopped doing it.
For sure. I think we could definitely get you some sponsors with some reels and stuff. No, but that's cool. I think this is something that's needed, not like obviously for cops, because cops need to push themselves, but for everyday air quotes people, because who are you? You know, what do you do? What are you capable of? You don't know. The majority of people will never encounter violence until they do.
Yeah.
And then what? I've seen a video of a lady pushing a stroller or something, and she fell, and the stroller was going into traffic, and she just couldn't get up.
Yeah.
Because her balance, she would like fall. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can't even get off the ground fast because she was so like stressed that did I say car seat or stroller? The stroller was going.
Yeah.
And she was so flustered at that she couldn't get up. Like you can't even think through an issue.
I know that. I think that goes back to like what you were talking about before, just the always feeling so safe and the lack of adversity in a lot of people, which is like great, I guess. You know, your life is great.
I mean, if you got that forever, I guess that's good.
But I don't know. I see some people, I'm just like, how did you make it this far? Like,
I see a lot of people, especially in my line of work, like people call, someone's breaking into my house, I need cops. We show up, it's the fucking Roomba. You program the damn thing. Dude, and then we got to break into the house because they're telling the dispatcher, tell him kick the door in, I can't come to the door, I'm locked in my bedroom. We're like, okay, like someone's in here, it's the Roomba. And I'm like, how did you make it to this point in life right now?
It's wild.
But if you're that safe for that long, fucking power to you, man.
Yeah.
I was fighting every day growing up, like I'm trying to survive. I didn't have the worst life. I didn't have the best life. But I'm very fortunate in my upbringing. Because, you know, I'll be at a bar now, someone trying to fight me. I'm like, I got a new beer though. You sure you want to do that? Like, can we wait 5 minutes? Like other people are like,
I'd rather not.
ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just like, hey, chill. You'll beat me up. I got this beer. I know you'll beat me up. Let me finish this beer.
I think that comes from martial arts too, though. Once you actually know how to fight a little bit.
But it's the adversity. It's because in martial arts, what you're doing is you're doing hard shit every day, nonstop. You know, and that builds confidence. You fucking learn a pistol platform better than anyone. You have a sense of confidence that comes to you.
Yeah.
You put this event together and it's successful, and people are signing. It's hard. You went through a process. You came out on top of that it builds a sense of confidence. Like it's the same confidence that comes from different things. Yeah, martial arts teaches you how to fight. So like, there's a lot of people who have this confidence and can't back it up.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it's that how you walk through life, doing hard shit all the time. A lot of things get easier.
Right.
Or they don't get easier. You just
things that were big before aren't as big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think you're putting this together. In 5 years, you're going to be having, how many people are you looking to register? Is there
100 would be awesome.
100 people. In 5 years, you're registering 500 to 1,000, and you're like, oh, this is how we're going to do it. This is going to be a staging area. This is going to be
right.
And you're like, man, I was struggling with 100 people. Now we're doing an event of 500 people.
Yeah.
But it all comes with the game, man. I think you have what it takes to do it. It's a matter of executing it.
Right.
Which the first one is all logistical.
Yeah.
Shit, figuring that out. You know, once you get past that hurdle, it's just multiplying.
Right.
So I'm going to be there.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm going to be there. No, for sure. Even if I don't compete, I'm going to be there in some form or fashion, helping you run it.
Sweet.
But you talked about when we were talking imposter syndrome, and the reason I think it's a good thing to talk about, because I've noticed a lot of people I've put on here because I look up to them or I like what they're doing. I love their story. I love what they're passionate about. They have it. Mm-hmm. You know, like first person I think about is Britt. She's a fighter out of Stout, and dude, she like phenomenal fighter. Not for a chick, phenomenal fighter, just good.
Yeah.
You know, and then she gets on here and she's talking about it. I'm like, you have that too, like. And I notice it's people who usually have good intentions, you know, good people doing good things, and then they suffer from this imposter syndrome. What's your experience with imposter syndrome?
Pretty much everything that I've given a shit about that I've done. Like, I don't deserve to be, like, how am I here? I'm not actually this person or this good at this thing. You know, even my job that I've been doing for 10 years, I'm like, they let me just build this? Like, you know.
But then I look at you like, dude can build a fucking table.
Yeah.
I couldn't even put this fucker together.
Yeah. Like, I built my gym little addition thing on my house by myself in like, I don't know. I didn't do it in work days. I did it after work and stuff, but not long. But when I go to
You
work,
built an addition, like an actual addition.
concrete slab, and then I put a roof on it, and then I'm going to close it in. So
I wish I could do shit like that, dude.
You can.
I do. I mean, yeah, you can with. Okay, let me. Yeah,
find a project. I'll give you a hand.
I got a basement to finish.
There you go.
He's like, bro, I ain't working for free. No, I think that shit's so cool. Like, I think trades like that have dissipated amongst people.
I think a lot of it is, I had this, which might be kind of what ties into all this. Teachers telling you you're never going to be anything or make any money doing stuff like that. You have to go to college. You have to do good in school and get this degree, or else you're never, going to go places. And now there's no one doing this. There's old people retiring, and there's no one coming to.
Electricians, plumbers.
Yeah.
Dude, carpentry is something you don't really think about, but it all needs built.
Yeah.
Like,
and being a carpenter, you see enough of the other trades, like you pick up on shit too. Like I can do a little bit of everything now just from seeing it so much,
I think it comes from like something in your brain. They say there's the art brain and then the functional brain or something like that. People who work with their hands and labors and build things. And I mean, I think building kind of ties in with the art stuff, but I think people like you and those trades can kind of see things differently than other people who aren't in that. Like I look at a table, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you how you start this. I would be like, cut a tree in a square. Do you have your tabletop?
Right.
That might be wrong. It's probably wrong.
Not a square, but yeah, something like that.
But then there's like layers, right? Like you can layer wood or am I making then compress it?
You can do whatever you want with wood pretty much, but
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not whatever you want.
How do you, can you curve wood? How do you keep wood curved?
If it's thin enough, some of it will just bend depending on how tight of a radius you're trying to make it,
What if I want a wood ball? How would you?
You just
like a sphere.
Hollow?
No.
Okay, that's a lot easier then. Solid.
Oh,
Solid.
no, hollow.
Find someone else.
Honesty. Solid. How would you, like, you just shave it?
Yeah, that would be a lot easier than trying to bend something hollow. It would have to be pretty big to make it hollow.
Oh, because you have to do the circumference in a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like,
it can only bend so much no matter what it is.
And that's where that imposter syndrome, like, that's where we as people who have that, you have to realize, like, you're so far down that rabbit hole. But when an outsider looks at you, they're like, look at this dude.
That's like people's houses were doing. They're like, oh my God, how do you know all this?
I don't know. Just put one slab up.
I don't. I'm just figuring it out as I go.
But dude, no, that's true. Because when I worked in construction, like if I told you I built highways, like Meadville, all of North Street, I built that. I could not fucking tell you how I did it. Someone was like, hey, move this dirt. Moved it. Then they're like, pour this asphalt. Poured it. Hey, tamp this asphalt. Tamped it. Next thing you know, you have a fucking highway. And I'm like, damn, I did that.
That's how it goes.
But it's like, but I probably know more than someone who's never done that.
Yeah, I can make a road.
But that imposter syndrome. So do you have that with the firearm stuff, do you think?
A little bit. It's getting better, but I think I always will a little bit.
Keep it.
Just, yeah. I mean,
keeps you on.
I don't see how you get rid of it. I mean, unless you start getting like delusional or full of yourself or something like that.
You know when the imposter syndrome goes away? When your ego takes over.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You see a lot of instructors, and you can have two instructors who are good, who are great. One just acts differently to you, teaches you different, approaches you differently, shows you things in a different way. And I'll use jiu-jitsu as an example. I've had instructors or seminars where I go and I don't know who the instructor is. Then he stands up and you're like, oh, dude, that's the instructor. He teaches this thing. He comes up to you. He's like, hey, that's one way to do it. Try this way, and then it works. They're not like, oh, fucking stupid. Why would you leg lock like that?
Yeah.
They approach it different. And then you have the guy who knows it all and knows a lot more than I do, but he knows it all, and you can tell. And what that does is, especially for an instructor, it kind of shuns your students away. Mm-hmm. Or the people you're teaching, they're like, fuck, I don't want to learn from this dude. Like, maybe he does have something to teach me. but I don't fucking like him. Kind of shoots you in the foot, no pun intended. Oh, damn. I didn't even think about that one. But how do you approach your classes when you're teaching?
As far as like how
you present the material, not what you present, but how you present it. You got a struggling shooter, like probably shouldn't be holding a gun, but they did the right thing,
right?
And they came to you for help.
So I mean, all the classes like already had like they're all written out and structured and everything, and subject to change as needed by say that person shows up that you were just talking about. And if I have help, which sometimes I do, then that person can keep watching the people who are doing all right, and I'll just sit there with the person who's struggling until like I feel like it's safe to let them keep going.
That's the most important. Yeah, safety first on the range.
But I mean, luckily, right now I don't have a ton of people. Like I'm not huge. If I get like a good handful of people, that's a big class for me right now. So I can spend the extra time with people that I wouldn't be able to if I had a huge class.
And when you're teaching, do you feel like you should be teaching? Does that imposter syndrome?
When I'm in the moment, yeah. Leading up to it, like I can't believe these people are paying me money to do this. But then it all goes great, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
That's why, yeah.
And then,
what strategies or what things have you done to help you like battle that voice in your head?
Just do it. Just like
Nike slogan, bro. They owe me $10 for that shout out. $10.
Like even coming here, you're nervous for this, and like driving, I'm like, oh man, if we don't fuck this up. And then you get here, like, well, here we are. Got to do it.
Dude, that was my first episode. Dude, it was like 15 minutes. I was like, all my episodes are going to be 15 minutes. That's a long time. How am I going to hold?
Yeah.
And I did it like 30 times. And then finally I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Just show up and just fucking do it.
You were nervous to come on here? Bro, and
I don't know.
I'm only saying this because I always get nervous too. And I had someone on and they're like, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that. And you're scared to talk in front of a camera. And I'm like, well, when you put it that way, it kind of does sound silly.
It does, but
I mean, it's natural.
And like for that community day, that was like by far more people than I was ever going to teach in a day. So I was like in my head the whole night before it. I was up until like 2:00 in the morning. Got up at 6 to start getting everything ready.
So you were essentially a vendor at the community day?
I was also teaching.
Oh.
It was me and 3 other companies. Lodestone was one, Judd from Know How, and then there's another company, Keystone Dynamic Solutions was there.
I've never heard of one of these events.
There wasn't one before.
Well, when's the next one?
Next year. We did it in May, so I'm going to try for May again.
Dude, fuck yeah. We got to work on your marketing, man.
I know.
That's some
I'm
good
terrible
shit,
at it.
bro. That's some, like, I know a handful of people. I mean, I'm sure, were there a lot of people there?
60-some signed up and like 30-some showed up.
I'm going to say, there's that, dude, I can get you about 20 people alone for a fact.
That one was pretty, so I'm also like in like the preparedness space, I guess, a little bit. So it wasn't just like EDC gun. There's actually no live fire at this particular one at all. But I taught land navigation, Keystone.
Useful.
Yeah, I think so. Judd taught like the intro to CQB, just what to do at a doorway. We only had an hour and a half for everyone. And there was Stop the Bleed there, and then Lodestone taught a little patrolling class, like a small unit tactics kind of thing. So hour and a half each, and then you just rotate so everyone gets one of, all 4 of those hour and a half.
When's the last time you held a map?
I just did a land nav class.
Not outside of your training.
Oh.
As a regular civilian, when's the last time you held a map?
Don't really have to.
Your phone shuts down.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying for people, because people are like, why would I need land nav? Which a lot of that stuff is digital. But like your GPS on your phone, you know what's crazy? I was trying to help my daughter figure out like the highway system. Evens, odds, look for signs. Right. These are mile markers. She's like, I'll just use GPS. And that killed me, because I'm like, I use GPS everywhere I go.
Yeah, me too.
But for me, it's like a learning tool. I'm always learning. I'm like, okay, so I've seen this tree, which means in 20 minutes I'm going to hit this mile marker at this, rate of speed, and I'll test myself. And I'm like, oh, I was a couple minutes off. But like when your GPS shuts down, that's what you're going to have to use. Landmarks,
Right.
all kinds of stuff like latitude, longitude. Oh, I haven't heard those words in a while, I'm sure. But land nav is so important. When I went to basic and we had to learn that, I was like, this is crazy. Like these little lines on the map tell you elevation. Like, how are you supposed to know this? Like, dude, it blew my mind.
I think it's rewarding too when you figure that out and you actually get to this spot in the woods.
Like what's an azimuth?
Yeah. How many people have even heard that word?
Like seriously, when you hear this episode, drop in the comments without Googling what's an azimuth, because I had no idea. And I'm like, and then everything's in kilometers and meters. I'm like, oh, we're in the U.S. But all that to say, a class like that is very crucial. And I think more quote unquote regular people need to learn this stuff, even if you never use it.
Yeah.
Just knowing it, having that, activating that part of your brain can be so essential.
It's so fun. I think it is anyway.
It wasn't fun when I did it, but it is fun. Yeah, it is fun. It is cool I love learning,
Yeah.
It could be learning how to basket weave. I'm learning something new. I may never use it, but it's just something to add to the toolbox. One conversation in 10 years happens about a basket.
Right.
I got you. I'm going to dig back into that. But I think it's cool when people go out of their comfort zone to learn things.
Yeah.
That's something I strive to do. That's why I try to have different guests on.
Right.
Because I can pull some from different people. Like, you're not an MMA fighter. You're not a cop. But guess what? You've trained Muay Thai. Guess what? You train firearms. All things in common with every other guest I've had. So it's like, it's cool. It offers a different perspective. What advice would you give people who battle this imposter syndrome? Like, how do you deal with it? How should they deal with it? You said just do it. That's actually a very good thing, because at the end of the day, you're going to figure it out if you just continue to do it. But now they're doing it and they still have these thoughts.
I mean, if it's something like what I'm doing, like see what people think about the thing that you're doing. Like, don't go ask them like, tell me I'm pretty. Don't do that. But like, if they tell you, hey dude, you're doing a good job, like, believe them. I have a really hard time with that too. Any compliments, I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, dude. But like,
when my friends be like, oh, dude, it's dope, I'm like, are you saying that because you're my friend?
Right.
Or like, can something change? Like, especially with this podcast, I tell people, like, if you don't like it, tell me. Like, if you didn't like the episode because you just fucking hated my guest, that's a personal issue between you two. You didn't like what we talked about. Okay, what didn't you like about it? The material, how it was presented, like. I'm always trying to, like, how can I change?
That's another, like, when I'm done teaching anything, I'm like, please tell me what, like, you would like to see change, or what you thought you were going to get out of this that maybe you didn't, or, because I want to make it better for next time.
I think a lot of instructors don't do that. I've been to a lot of classes, and it's become a thing now, but when I go to a class and they don't ask that, I'm like, oh, okay, we're just done?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That kind of leaves me, like, when I leave, I'm like, do they care? Or are they just trying to make money?
Yeah.
And none of that can be true. That's just stuff I'm saying. But it's the stuff that goes in my head. When an instructor, after everything, they're like, hey, like, what'd you guys like about the material? What are things that we can do to change it? Are there things you struggled with? Are there any questions? I'm like, oh, cool. This is an opportunity. Like, and I'm that annoying dude that I'll, like, at the end of those trainings, I'll be like, hey, I really like this. I didn't really like this. Like, or I think this could have been done differently, or I learned it differently and I prefer that way over this way. Nothing wrong with this way.
Yeah.
And then we have that discourse, that conversation, and maybe I have been convinced differently, through those conversations. I've done the class, I've done everything, and then in their explanation, I'm like, oh fuck, I should really dive deep into that method. Like, I should try that one more because it makes sense.
Yeah. I think if you do stuff like that and actually make the changes and see how that goes, like, that'll help you. Just
constant problem solving.
Yeah. At least you can tell yourself, like, I'm trying here. Like, even if I don't think I'm at where I should be, I'm like, you at least know that you're working on it.
So being open to feedback. for that, like
Yeah.
someone going to being open to that feedback.
Yeah.
Just do it. Be open to feedback.
Yeah, and then go from there.
Yeah.
And you will start to see, like, it'll start to make sense a little bit. Like, you'll do something like, fuck yeah, I actually did pretty good right there. But it'll come back. You'll be like, yeah, but I still suck at this, and this. And then you'll do something good again. You're like, yeah, that went well. And then it's a constant cycle, I think. I don't think like you said, you're not going to get rid of it. But I think that also means you give a fuck. So,
yeah.
and that's what other people have told me too, that I've talked to, like other instructors and stuff. They're like, dude, don't worry about it. That just means you actually care. So,
yeah, when you care about something so much, you're never done or satisfied because you're always looking to improve.
right.
And I think that's very important. Always striving for something better. Like being comfortable where you're at, realizing where you're at, but still wanting to be better. Oftentimes we get put into this, like, it's this or that. Like, oh, I want this to be better. Why can't you just be happy with where you're at? Oh, I am.
Yeah.
But why can't I strive to be
Why not
better
be
as
happier?
well?
Yeah. Right.
You know, so it's either you're always chasing something or you're chasing nothing and you're complicit and just, and we see that with in cops.
Yeah. And I've been there too, and it's not a fun place to be. I find that I need some kind of challenge to be even remotely, like, happy.
Stimulated.
It's going to sound corny, but, like, I think a lot of dudes feel this way, but maybe don't put it. I need, like, a fucking dragon to slay, if that makes any sense. Like, there needs to be something happening, like, I got to go do this, or else
I've never heard that.
I just feel like useless otherwise.
I've never heard that. Is
Does it
that
make
like a
sense?
thing? No, it makes sense. You need something to conquer.
Yeah.
You need something to, because that, that brings the fulfillment.
Yeah.
I that makes sense. Like, for me, I'm here and now I'm like, okay, how can we benefit from this space more? Like,
Yeah.
I was doing a lot and then I came here and now I feel like this is bigger than me. Like, how can I grow into this space?
Yeah.
This thing. I brought in that other dude and he's like, let's fucking rent it out. Let's get people in here to do their own thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Like, that's, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So he mentioned another idea. He's like, why don't we do like a networking event in the building? Because like there's a bunch of offices, a bunch of different industries. He's like, networking event, have people come to our space. We go to their space. We kind of see who's in the building. How can we benefit off each other? I'm like, another fucking good idea. Like,
Go meet your neighbors.
yeah, you can easily come in here and be like, okay, I'm just going to continue doing what I've always done and be comfortable. It's like, no, let's fucking do that. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
What was this 4th of July event you did with Judd?
That was something. That one was his kind of idea, and he asked me to help out plan, a stage and stuff for it. So that was kind of like tactical games. It was just like it was more workout than shooting, though, for sure. There's only 2 shooting stages. His stage was a pistol stage. You had to do all kind of hard shit, burpees and sled drags and all kind of stuff, and then go shoot when you're tired. And then you had to carry sandbag down to my rifle station, do a bunch of sprints and burpees, and shoot in between. It's fun.
It's funny how good people can shoot until they're tired. Which, like, people don't understand. That mimics adrenaline dump.
I started training like that a while ago because you see all this stuff like, okay, you're good at shooting, but wait until you actually have to fight or what, I was like, okay, well, how do I even get close to doing that without actually doing it? So I started bringing sandbags and kettlebells and stuff to the range and doing some short little things and then shooting drill afterwards. And I'd do stuff like that for a while. And, it's a challenge.
We incorporated something like that last year at the range. It was a tack shoot. And our shoots have started changing for about 5 years. 5 years ago, things started going for the better. Before that, it was like your typical, we're going to reload on the move. It's like, is that tactical or is that just something you should... they don't reload on the move, but like reload then move. It's like...
Yeah.
And that's something...
I've come to hate the word tactical, too.
It's been plastered on everything.
Yeah, it's just...
It's like black headphones, tactical headphones.
Yeah. That's...
Because it's black. It's like,
you
okay.
can call it tactical and market it and people,
Yeah, so we incorporated like those bands that you do for fitness, and we put it around an officer's waist, and he had to sprint while someone was pulling him back. So
Yeah.
like you're running in place essentially, and by the time you
Yeah.
get to your barrel or your car or wherever your cover, they're fucking gassed, dude,
Yeah.
gassed. And I would hold, and it depends, right? Like, so you're smaller or not as fitness capable.
Yeah.
I don't pull it back, but like if you're a fucking stud in my department, I was ripping that back. I'm gonna make you work. And dude, you just see they get there, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
good, and then they'd stay there, and I'm like, oh, fuck, are you waiting for? Someone's shooting at you,
Yeah.
you know? Like, but it's new, right? So it's something new. They're gassed, they're tired, their dexterity's gone.
Right.
Now they're loading mags and doing the smack that I tell them not to do. But it's like in that moment, that's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. Like your fingers don't work, boom. You know, when you're not finding the release on your rifle like this anymore. Now you're just smacking it. You know? It's like, so it's funny when you start incorporating dynamic movement and stuff like that to shooting. Everyone's grouping goes from here to out here, which if you're
That's a guy.
that's a person. You know, that's definitely me. You can have a grouping like this and hit me, but so it's just. But you got to be accountable,
Right.
Like your shots got to be accountable. You can't just go shoot because you're tired.
Yeah, that big group, if you were perfect, might still be hitting that person. But if you're off a little bit, those are going off into mom and 3 kids or whatever.
Yeah, we called Susie. Susie's gone now.
Yeah.
Though I put names. Like when someone misses a target, I'll circle it. Here's Jimmy, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
But it's like I'm not trying to be funny, but it adds a little bit of a damn. That could have been a kid or some innocent bystander. I can't fucking talk. So he did this event. What were some things you learned personally from that event that you plan on utilizing for yours?
I mean that went really well. We only had a couple weeks. Like he was just like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Can you help?" And like a couple weeks later, 35 people were there, which kind of gave us like after that, I was like, dude, I have this idea. And that was the readiness trials. So I was like, let's fucking do this. And I think that gave us a little bit of a false hope, but you know, that went so well.
But it's good because you're essentially piggybacking off that event.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, it's good to surround yourself, and it's cool that he's not a fucking asshole either. And it's like, no, you're doing your own. It's like, let's do this.
No, I personally like, hey, dude, like I need help with this. I trust you, and I like your ideas and shit. Like, let's fucking do it. And I consider him a good friend. Now, you know, I've known him for a little bit now. We train together most weekends if we can on Sundays.
I think I beat him up.
Probably.
I can't remember his face, but I did someone dirty in that car, bro.
I think I've seen videos of you and him in the car.
Was it
so
okay?
Yeah.
I did so like I went with so many people.
Yeah.
And like, I think I did him dirty though. I was fucking tired, bro, and I'm big.
All right.
And like he tells me, he's like the principal in the car take up space.
Yeah.
Check, I can do that. So I was so lazy and exhausted. I just boom took up as much space immediately.
He's not the type to be like pissed about.
No,
something.
he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. I'm looking to do that class again. I guess they're doing it soon.
Was that a law enforcement? No, that wasn't.
No, he had other dudes. He with Sean from
So they're going to be there at this readiness trials. They're doing the de-escalation stage. I don't know if Sean will be, but you know Derek was at that.
He does the Zilly location. Yeah.
Him and Misty are running that stage at
That'd be
the
cool.
readiness trials. Yeah.
No, well, I'm definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I just don't know in what capacity. We'll see. We'll figure that out. That's all shit we figure out. So what stuff did you learn there that you're like hoping to implement with this? Like either from planning, organizing, stations maybe?
Like I said, that went very well, but there was a huge range of skill level there from people who were like, yeah, I got this, to people who have never, like I had the rifle station, people had never touched an AR in their life. So being able to pick out and like kind of have to talk to everybody like they're stupid a little bit, like this is the safety, and when you're done shooting, put the safety back on. And then, you know, but
you have to do that though.
Yeah. And
you guys gonna have like flags at the station for the rifles? Are people carrying their own stuff? Or are you gonna have platforms?
So it's gonna be like a safe area, load when you're up on the line.
Cold range essentially?
Yeah. So everyone will be clear while they're walking around and stuff like that. But
oh, that's cool. How big is this space that you guys are doing this?
It's a whole sportsman's club. So I think they probably have like 10 or 11 like shorter bays, and they have a long range. That's another. It's not really long range, but it goes out to like 300 yards. I think they have. That's one of the stages.
Mid range.
Yeah, mid range.
Fucking 300 yards. That's gonna be a station.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be AR or
yeah, it's
actual?
all AR. So I'm telling people, like, I want you to bring the shit that you actually use the most. Like, bring the gun that you carry. Obviously, no one's carrying around their ARs usually, but bring the gun
some people
that you like. Like, yeah, this is my rifle.
Your home rifle.
Yeah.
Your defense rifle.
Right.
Yeah, because you'll get some motherfuckers who start putting variable scopes and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and some people carry. I know a dude who carries it. His flips though, which is fucking sweet.
Flips.
Yeah, he has like this bracket on it that'll like.
Oh, magnifier.
It's like a magnifier.
Yeah.
But it's variable.
Oh.
So I don't even know where he got it from, but I like clowned him in the beginning, and then we're at the range shooting. I think it was like 200 yards.
Yeah.
And he just goes. I'm like, fuck, I wish I had that right now.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like if you're in an open like a shopping mall, and you're fucking bad guys at Nike and you're at
Right.
Aerie.
Right.
That's a long shot.
That's
Like, do you take it? No, because you're not capable. But like if you had that, you technically would be.
and it sucks to say this, but if you take a 100-yard shot in like any self-defense, they're probably going to drag you through.
Yeah, for citizens.
Yeah.
I'm talking law enforcement.
Oh, okay,
Let me. I should have caveat. Fuck, people are gonna be blasting folks now. For law enforcement, we have to take that shot. We have to stop the threat. For citizens, you have to be safe.
Right. Yeah, I think about that. It sucks to say, but you really have to.
Is that something you talk about in your classes? That's actually a really good point.
I'm not a legal expert. I don't give any legal. I teach people how to shoot and the decision on what,
Okay.
what decisions they make with that are on them, because I'm not, well, this guy told me to do it.
No, I guess
Not
that
doing
makes
that.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Cause I guess when we go to, we offer a different layer to our training of like, hey, follow your SOPs and follow your policies and follow the law, obviously. But in the case you're in this situation, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Blast it, dude, right? They're like, ish. I'm like, I'm kidding. Or am I? Well,
Yeah. I'll teach you how to do whatever you want within, I'm not going to teach you how to be an asshole.
yeah.
But if you want to
Some
learn
people got
if you
that
want to
all
learn how to
figured out.
shoot well, then I'll teach you that. But I'm not going to tell you
what shot to take. When
Yeah,
you ever get
that's-
those questions though? If this dude's here, can I shoot him? How about we just focus on shooting?
Yeah.
Let's focus
That's
on
pretty
shooting.
much what I'm not telling people whether or
Dude.
not to do anything. It's too.
As an instructor, when I'm like, oh, I have a class and stuff, and it ranges from like dudes who have triple the years I've been on, triple the years I've been alive.
Yeah.
Dude, I've taught some dudes. I'm like, you're still a cop. You could have retired 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just collecting my pension. I'm on the drop. I'm like, you need to drop dead. No. But you'll get those questions of like, oh, so if this happens, like, can we engage? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what department you work for. Like, we wouldn't, because
Right.
there's a lot of liability. You're accountable for every round on it. Like, the bad guy isn't. We are. So can I? Or no, the perfect example is when I'm teaching cadets, because they have 1,000 questions.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm here as a guest, right, for the county. Well, why don't you talk to your instructors? I'm just a guest. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you talk? They'll handle that.
Yeah.
I never know how to go about those questions.
Yeah.
Because then if I say I will, well, my training,
Vastly different.
Yeah,
from-
like
right.
I would. I can't tell you to.
Right.
So think about that when you're training firearms and stuff. It's like just because someone else would doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Know what you're capable of and be honest with yourself. Like, and on like
That's
for
a good
us,
quote. Yeah.
for us, I say us, I just mean not
No.
cops. Just
we're putting a line here. Okay. Fuck me.
do your best to like just get the fuck out of there if anything like that happens. Like,
Take care of yourself and your family.
yeah, especially if I'm with my kids, we can talk about like what superhero we think we want to be and everything. Oh, active shooter or someone. I'm getting my kids the fuck out of there.
I'm not gambling with that.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
And
Well, if I'm by myself,
sorry, I know there's other people's kids there and stuff, and that sucks. But I don't know your kids, and they're not my kids. So first, I'm getting my kids the fuck out of there.
you say that, and you're like hesitant to say it. What if everyone had that mindset though? All those kids would be gone.
Yeah.
If you're worried about your kids and your family right there, so is that dude, so is that dude, you know. Like, think about this. This is obviously extreme. I'm highly trained. You're highly trained. We know our skill sets. Some shit happens here. I see 3 kids there. I see 3 kids here. I'm like, I'm not going for those 3 kids because I know you're going to go for those 3 kids. They're taken care of. Right. I got this. If everyone embodied that mindset, that training, that's how society would be.
Just think about the amount of people, men especially, that can't pick up their kids and carry them quickly. Think about how many of them.
Bro, I saw a video. I like, as much as I hate social media, I reference it a lot now that I think about it. Every episode, I saw a video.
Yeah.
I saw a video. This dude's carrying his kid, and a raccoon like runs up to him. And he fucking screams, and was so flustered, he threw his kid at the raccoon. Runs, and then realizes, I just threw my kid. Dude, that kid smacks so hard, starts crying. I'm like, you just threw your... One, you're so scared of this raccoon. You just threw your kid at it. But all that translates from... I guarantee you, I don't know the dude from Joe. I saw him on Instagram. It was a viral video, so who knows who the fuck were. Guarantee you he don't train.
No.
Anything.
No. Doesn't do anything challenging, hasn't.
You can tell.
Yeah.
That's how you react to a raccoon.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Raccoon comes up to me like, oh, fuck. Like, then
I open up my garbage and want to stare at him. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, like, but I'm booting you.
Yeah.
You're getting punted, field goal.
Or a 22.
Or, yeah, I don't have a 22. You're getting a 9 in your dome.
Oh, some of my neighbors probably wouldn't like that as much.
Dude, my neighbors would be pissed, bro. I live, let's just say in that area.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get away with even a 9, but 22 kills a raccoon fine.
Do you ever use the pellet guns?
I don't have one powerful enough that I think.
I bought one, and I pumped that motherfucker, and I'll do this fucking. This when I used to live up in Erie. This fucker kept getting into my shit, bro. I taped my garbage at one point.
They're awful.
Flipped. I'm like, how? Dude, I waited outside, had a cigar. I'm like, when this motherfucker comes, bro, I waited hours. This is how, like, when I put my mind to something, you're fucked because it's getting done. Hours. 2-3 cigars later, I hear.
Yep.
I'm like, I was probably pumping it for that long, too. This fucking thing was coming out like a missile. Bro, I see the little eyes come up, and I just go, gone.
Nice.
Little pellet gun, dude. They're like, oh, dude. I wonder where that thing is. I'm going to have to look for it. I don't condone killing of animals. But fuck these raccoons, bro.
Yeah, I had a real bit. I had chickens, and they got like 4 of them.
Dude, they'll fuck those up.
Yeah.
You like, you eat the eggs and stuff?
That's all we had them for, yeah. I don't have them anymore. I've purchased a total of 7, and then we got down to 2 because of raccoons. So,
how many eggs would you get from yours? I know it varies.
So we had a bigger breed. It wasn't like the best laying breed, but usually 1 a day from each.
That's breakfast.
Fed my kids breakfast every day, you know. So
that's cool.
And that was when we only had 2 left. So there would be some days when I didn't get any from one of them, but I at least got 1 egg a day when I had 2.
You grab it, give me your eggs.
No, they leave them in the box and go do their thing.
Then my buddy just got chickens, and I didn't know this. I go to his house. He's like, "Hey, don't use the front door. My chickens are there." I'm like, the area he lives, probably not allowed to have chickens, but I'm like, "You got fucking chickens, bro?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll show you them. Come to the side." So I go to the side. I'm like, "You got chickens?" Well, apparently he lets them outside, but at this point he didn't want them. So he showed me. He's like, "Oh, they gotta go to bed." I'm like, "Okay." Opens his garage door, and they fucking go into their little hen. I'm like, "Your chicken? You got house trained chickens? Why didn't you let me open the door?" He's like, "Oh no, I just want them in here for now." Bro, they literally went in there, and the door closes. It was like a timer closes.
That's actually,
I'm like,
if you have a garage that you don't give a fuck about, that's kind of smart though, because they're safe in there at least.
yeah, I'm like, but it was like I'm like, I
Yeah.
never knew you could train a chicken, bro.
Well, yeah, they go into their coop every night if they think that's their coop.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm like,
They,
that's cool. Did yours like go in?
Yeah.
Like on their own?
so after the two that I had left, I ended up giving to one of my buddies, but they'd seen some shit by the time there was 2 left because all their homies just got massacred in front of They started sleeping on top of the coop, so I'm guessing so they could like watch to make sure nothing was coming. I don't know if
You got sleep deprived chickens, bro. They're always like looking
yeah,
out.
and they would face opposite ways and stand right next to each other too as well.
They're on fire watch.
Yeah,
you know fire watch is?
Yeah.
Hey, you take this shit.
It's great.
Chickens.
But
They're good show how smart animals are. Like their brains have to be this
I know.
big. Here they are up here like, hey, I got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You got the next 10. Good shit. What fuels you to keep doing this stuff?
I want to get better at it, and like we said before, like I've quit at so many things. Like I'm not.
This is your thing.
I'm not quitting on it. No.
What's made this your thing? Why won't you quit on this?
I have a lot into it at this point, and I want to be good at it and help other people. You know,
I think it's a good thing.
I think I am good at it, but it could always be.
Is it something you're
it.
passionate about, or is it something you just want to see through?
Both.
Or both.
So I get like obsessed with things, and then typically good at like. I'm not going to start it unless I'm like, oh fuck, I got to do that, which I've done with a lot of different things, but like this is a big one, and I've been doing it for a long time at this point. Like it's stuck. I love it. It's how I've met like all of my friends that I have now. You know, like it's my thing.
It's a good
now.
circle to be in, man.
Yeah.
Some shit happens. You're like, hey, you go for the materials. We're going for the food.
Yeah.
He's got the house.
And there's a lot of good dudes and ladies in this like space that, you know, you find like any other group of people, there's dickheads too, but like usually
That exists.
Yeah. Usually dudes that are at events like this anyway, they're usually, I've found pretty solid people.
Well, think about it. The people signing up for this stuff.
Yeah.
People who want to be better. People
Right.
who want to push themselves. People
Right.
who. So that's why I like going to stuff like this, because you kind of put yourself in a room with similar mindsets and similar people. You go to a class, you don't know if they were forced to go there.
Yeah.
You don't know, like these events, especially when it's like open to civilians and your people,
Yeah.
because I'm not a civilian ever anymore. When it's your people going, that sounds kind of racist. I'm
You
Puerto
mean your
Rican.
people.
Your people. Hey, you ever seen Baywatch with The Rock and
I did
Zac
a long
Efron?
time ago. Yeah.
There's this scene, ADHD brain, you're talking about your people. There's this scene when the black cop comes up to Zac Efron and he's talking about like, I think the Spring Breakers. He's like, and you people come out here. Zac Efron's like, you people. And The Rock's like, hey, well, you're just tan. One of the funniest scenes. I don't know why. I'm just like, play on words. I like it.
That's
But
funny.
when you're hosting, when you have these events that just people have to sign up for, put their money up, they like that's something they have to get out of the company and do it. Like you tend to get a certain type of person who does this stuff,
Right.
rather than like a law enforcement class where you don't know if they were told they have to be there.
Yeah.
You don't know if they signed up on their own because they want to learn. You don't know if it's their work day. Is this dude coming in on his day off, or this chick? Like, and you can tell the difference of someone who paid to be there on their day off because they
Right.
really believe in this,
Right.
and someone who's there because it's their shift and they have a chair to fill.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, like I said, they're usually good people come out.
Well, it's about to be a good event. I'm excited for it. Where do you see ARC readiness in, let's say, the 5-year mark again? Like, where, if you can have your way with it, where do you see ARC readiness?
So 5 might not be realistic for what I want. 5 to 10.
We'll do 10. Where do you
My
see it in
own?
10?
Like a headquarters almost. The range, I can teach classes there. I can have other companies come in and, you know, rent the range, but also gym, mats, stuff like that.
You have the same goal I have.
Well,
I want to have, like, my ideal situation would be a studio, check.
yep.
A chill spot, check. A gym, a mat room, Like, how cool would it be to be like, hey, you want to come roll for a half hour to an hour and then we get on the podcast?
Yeah.
Like, you know, how much more comfortable would the conversations be? Like, you just fucking rolled with me
Right.
sweaty there for 30 minutes to an hour. We're going to come on here and be like,
Yeah.
what's up, bro? You just fucking kicked my ass, man.
Fuck yeah.
So what are the steps you're taking to do that?
Just trying to build business at this level now, fill classes, you know, be smart with what I do with, you know, the money that I make from the classes now, and just keep moving forward with that, trying to make a name for ourselves. And,
Just do it. Hey, the name's there, bro. Arc Readiness.
well, people got to know the name.
We're about to get people to know the
Yeah,
name.
that's right.
I always ask this question at the end of every episode.
All right.
If you had infinite money, you already traveled the world, you had no fear, you received no recognition for what you do, what would you do or what would you create? No thinking. Something popped into your mind. I saw it.
My kids popped into my mind, but I don't know where that was going.
Yeah. Anything. Anything.
Whatever.
Money didn't matter.
Yeah,
You didn't need to pay for anything. You didn't, nothing. If you could do anything in the world, what would it be?
Does it have to be something that's like actually physically possible?
Well, now I'm fucking intrigued.
No, I just like,
Don't say fly.
no. So, like, my kids automatically popped into my mind. I think about like how much I love them and how like they're surrounded by that. My wife's a very good mom and everything, and like, but there's kids that don't have that. And like, if you could give that to the kids that don't have it, somehow I'd spend my time trying to do something like that.
Dude, that's awesome. You can like that's something that's doable though. You know, you can't give them like I just had a Jeremiah Butler on here.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned his mom, how much she means to himself. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, this is foster mom.
Yeah,
He never knew his parents.
that's true.
And I'm like, dude, like, and it put it into perspective for me because, like, I grew up with a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dad left. We have a good relationship now, my father. But he left when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I only grew up knowing my mom and the relationship with my mom. And, like, I grew up not in the best circumstances. But then I think about it, I'm like, I grew up with a mother.
Yeah.
How many kids don't even have that?
Right.
And my mother did everything she could for me. I can't
Right.
complain about what she provided and what, because she did her best and, you know, she's made me the man I am today. There's kids who don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be.
From what I've heard, adoption is such a ridiculous process too. Like it.
That's why I say if money wasn't an issue,
Yeah.
like, what would you be doing? Because it shows you like where people's passions lie, right? Like someone
Yeah.
says, I want to be a millionaire. Like you didn't even think about the question. I said money, money doesn't matter,
Yeah.
you know.
And that's not even something I've really even like
Why
thought
do you
about
want
before.
But
That's
like,
just like what pops into my head when you ask. You
no,
know,
but that
so,
goes to show like
yeah.
who you are as a man. You know, if
Yeah.
you can provide that for kids, dude, that's I think like kids. I will do some stupid shit for kids. Like, you know, you mentioned, you know, get my kids out of there. Like if I was by myself, I would die trying to save every kid. And I know that's a
Yeah.
problem. And I know that's like not the smartest thing. Not that like even as a cop, like if there's kids involved, bro, it's hard for me to remain professional. I do because I have a job to do, but it's real fucking hard for me to remain professional. And look, for example, in a different department I worked for, I had to interview a dude who wrote I don't want to say a story, but essentially a confession in prison of him molesting other kids. This is going to be sensitive. If you don't want to keep listening, I advise you to stop now. Pages of what he did to kids. Dude, the prisoners found it, beat his fucking ass, told the CEOs. That's how we found out about it. So I had to interview this guy. And I had to sit across the table from this dude when he told me, oh, that was just a fantasy.
Either way.
Now we're trying to like investigate, is this something he's done or is this like just stupid? Like I had to sit across the table from this dude, listen to him say, this is just a fantasy. Like I just like younger girls. And I have to, there's this course I went to. It's called the READ technique. They teach you a bunch of like interview techniques and stuff. One of them is connecting and making them believe that you're understanding what they're saying to get them to open up more. So I'm like, yeah, like I like younger girls myself. You know, in my mind, I'm talking about 20s to 25, you know, and that's where you got to put your headspace. This fucking dude is talking about 6 and 7 year olds. And I'm sitting there like my voice is quivering. My fucking hand is gripping my knee. Cause I'm like, if I wasn't a cop, the things I would do to you, I cannot speak out loud.
Right.
Dude. So kids always hold a soft spot for me. You know, when I see kids struggling, or when I see like at the store and the kids' clothes are too small and stuff, I just want to like, hey, can I like, but I get that's overstepping and all that. So it's hard, man. I think that was a good answer.
I never even thought about that.
I've never had that
or
answer.
talked about that really before. Like me and my wife will like see things out like, man, that sucks. You know, but
And that's something, I mean, maybe that's something you build to, you know, you build a brand so fucking great that you're able to do something like that for someone, even if it's one family. Do you change one life? Yeah, like that's a lot. You know, I got big goals for this. You know, and like when people are like, "Where do you see the podcast?" I'm like, dude, I see it getting so big that I can help fighters, you know, pursue their dreams. They got to pay for. They got to pay for, you know, doctor's visits and flights and hotels and camps and to push their goals. I'd love to be a part of that. Or, you know, someone like you're like, yeah, I'm starting this thing. I'd love to be like, yo, here's a fucking check. How can I be involved and help with it? Like, that's the end goal, is to be able to provide an avenue for my guests to benefit from wholeheartly. Like now, all we can do is listen to your story, which is fucking awesome. Yeah. And all I can do is push it, which is I'm going to do my best. But I've noticed most of my guests I have on here, we end up fucking working together somehow. So we'll fucking figure it out.
Let's do it.
Like I said, the one Shane got me this thing. I'm doing his graphics now. So if you need graphics, I got you.
Cool. Yeah, I'm terrible at all that shit.
Hey, so. As you can see, I'm pretty all right with that kind of stuff. No, I especially when I believe in something. And that's a problem. I don't want to say it's a problem because I don't see it as a problem, but you know, I've done a lot for people because I believe in what they're doing, and then they just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, but it was such a great idea. I know. You need to keep going. And they're like, bro, can you lay off? And I'm like, why am I more passionate about your thing than you?
I've had people like friends like that, like they can't, like I'm constantly the one like, hey dude, you want to come do this thing? Hey, you want to come work out? Hey, do you want to go shoot? And at some point you just got to like let them. Yeah.
Hey, you made your decision. I'll respect it. Yeah. And it's hard though, because you see like,
especially when they're good at shit.
Yeah. You're like, why are you wasting? That's not what I want to do. I get it. Yeah. But you're so fucking good. Yeah. Just like stick with it. Remain relentless. Right. And that's the thing. Like I can be corny now because I have this podcast. So I'm like, no, but remain relentless. And I'm like, bro. I'm like, I know it's corny, but I get to be. You know, it's called that. So I'm just but I'm serious. And that's why I called it the Relentless Project. Like we're a project. We're always working on ourselves. And Relentless is like, you don't have to be good at something. Yeah. You just have to keep fucking chasing it. And then keep chasing it, you become better. You become better. I had my buddy on here, and I mentioned this multiple times. He goes, he's 4-0 as a pro with 4 knockouts. Fuck yeah. And he suffers from that imposter shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's goofiest dude you'll ever meet. Like, if you saw him, you'd be like, 1, how are you a cop? 2, you're a professional boxer. Dude's just fucking funny, man. Yeah. But he said, he's like, there will be a day when I get outboxed, but I will never be outworked. Yeah. And that's one thing that dude does is he works 12-hour shifts. He'll run before work, like we get an hour to train during work. He'll train during work, and then after work, he'll go spar. Yeah. Every day.
I had a coach in high school who always said something like, it's okay to lose, but do not get beat. Like, so kind of along the same, and that stuck with me.
Yeah. Because like your best just wasn't the best. Right. But it was your best. Right. But if you half-ass something or you got beat. Yeah. My dad had that.
Losing's fine to a point, but yeah.
Losing's fine if you're continuously giving it your all.
Right.
And like
you're gonna lose.
I'll use my daughter as an example for this. I wanted to get into sports for the longest. Didn't entertain anything.
Yeah.
Like, just wants to be on her fucking phone all day. Took that. But she got into cheer, right? I'm like, finally, something, she's in it. Well, she ran and was like, I want to try out for volleyball. I'm like, fuck yeah. Something competitive, a team. Like,
that was the coach that told me that. Volleyball coach.
Yeah. Shit. So look at that. Dude, you learn a lot of lessons in volleyball. You played volleyball?
Yeah.
See? Perceptions, man. Y'all never look at this like you played volleyball. So she gets on this team, and all the girls are new. Like all the older girls are gone. So the fresh team.
Yeah.
They're struggling. But I get so emotional. Like I don't cry for anything, right?
Yeah.
My daughter finding this passion, and like I see her in the game and this glow in her eyes as the balls come and she's there, she's in position, her feet's move. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking proud. And like, they're not the best. But the first game compared to the game I just saw yesterday, dude, they're hitting the ball back and forth. The girls are diving. I'm like, oh my, they still lost, right? But I sit my daughter down after every game. And I'm like, okay, let's do a post-game breakdown. Like, how do you feel you did? What can you do to be better? And she's like, the first game, so-and-so didn't. I'm like, no, we're not. That's not what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not actively building your team, don't say anything.
Right.
Because you shitting on your teammate, you're shitting on yourself. You're a team. You're one unit. They lose, you lose. She don't hit the ball, guess what? You lost. You didn't score. You're one team. If you're not saying things to build your girls, don't say anything at all.
Yep.
And I had the whole conversation like, you're all learning. You learn it different. Like when your first day at volleyball, you weren't the best. Imagine if some other girl was coming over here like, oh, Jenna sucks. She can't. Like, so stop. And she's like, okay. Compared to this game, post-game, she's like, I had some good passes. I didn't communicate. I didn't yell as much as I should have and called my ball. And I'm like,
that's so cool.
I literally look at it, I was like, I'm so fucking proud of you.
That's so cool.
I don't know how I got to that. Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, losing.
Getting beat.
So they lost, but like you can tell them girls, even from the beginning, they're just like, when they go and this time they're diving, they're running out of bounds to keep the ball in play. I'm like, that's it. Like you still may have lost, but you girls you
worked.
Getting better. You worked. You're sweating. You're out of breath.
Right.
You're passionate. You're high-fiving each other on a good play. You're not pounding each other down on a bad play.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the next one. You got the next one.
Right.
Like, and this is like the 5th game in. I'm like, dude.
So cool.
I told her, I'm like, you keep sticking with this. Like, imagine how good you'll be in the next grade.
Yeah.
In the next grade. In high school. In college.
Yeah. How old is she, if you want to say on here?
She's 12.
Okay.
I'll say I don't post her or anything like that, but
I don't either.
She's 12, so she's at that age where like she's starting to grasp and comprehend and stuff. But she could have been either way. She could have been a what they call it, screen kid.
Yeah, iPad kid.
Yeah, an iPad kid. But like she's finally diving into sports and stuff, and I'm like, finally, like after practice, she's like, hey, can we, hey Dad, can we go outside and work on serves after I get out of practice?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had like hours of work to do. I was like, figure that out. Yeah, I've dreamed for this day.
Yeah.
So, don't.
I gotta get better at that. I'm doing all it feels like I'm every second I have something to do with this event that we're doing now, and I feel like I'm on my phone too much, and even today I get home, my daughter's like, "I want to go ride bikes with Dad." She's only 2, but I want to go ride bikes.
I can't say no to that. I'd have been like, "Fuck the podcast. We're riding bikes." Hey, sorry, bro. The baby wants to ride bikes. I'd have been like, I get it.
Nah, but
I appreciate it.
It's tough.
It is.
So,
and it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you want to build something for your family.
Yeah.
But that requires you to do things outside of your family that take away from your family. So, no, I get it. But and this is the way. Maybe it's not the best way to justify. This is how I justify it. I'm gonna struggle and work, and I'm still gonna obviously be there.
Yeah.
Because an absent father doesn't do anything.
Right.
So finding the way to balance both of those, but knowing I'm doing this for her at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm doing this for her. And if it blows up, it blows up. I go to
Yeah.
the next thing. Blows up in the bad way. If it blows up in the good way,
Great.
I never have to work a day. We can go to all the games and do everything. So
Yeah.
finding that balance. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you. Where can people, one last time, where can people follow you if they want to know more about ARC Readiness, the readiness trials, all that good stuff?
Just ARC Readiness on Instagram. I have a Facebook thing, but I never use it, so don't look for it on there.
That's ARC.
Yeah. Underscore thing. Readiness.
Underscore thing. I'll tag it. I'll tag it at the end.
Yeah. ARCreadiness.com. Yeah. That's it.
ARCreadiness.com,
All the classes
November
are on there.
3rd.
Yeah, November 3rd for the readiness trials. We got a bunch of classes already, you know, between now and then. They're also on the website.
I know he doesn't want you prepping for this event, but if you want to prep for this event, check out his website and get some shooting in.
Yeah, there you go. There's some other skills too. Yeah.
What about ARC preparedness to get you prepped for ARC?
It's almost
readiness?
the same thing. Preparedness wasn't like possibly going to be part of the name when I was I was like, everyone has preparedness. So then I went with.
I like it. It rolls.
Yeah,
ARC
a little bit.
readiness.
Yeah.
Are you ready? That's how you have to start it.
That's one of the little like teaser videos we have. It says that on it.
Bro, I don't know if you know, I'm kind of a marketing genius. You
Oh,
know?
I need one of them because I am not.
No, on a serious note, I partnered with this guy named Nick with Immobilize. He does his own thing though. I don't know if I should. Maybe I have to bleep that out. Anyway, the guy I'm with here, fucking phenomenal brain, bro. I'll connect you to, and maybe what I'll do is we'll come and shoot your stuff because he's looking to like build his video shooting and stuff because he's doing all this stuff for Immobilize on his own. So he's trying to learn, and that's what I meant by like doing his own thing. He's trying to learn how to operate the video camera and photo camera.
Fuck yeah.
Photo camera. And dude, this shit's fucking phenomenal. And he's like, oh, is another one of those dudes. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm just trying. I'm like, no. I'm not going to let you take this from yourself. Like, this video was dope.
Yeah.
Look up Immobilize, IMMOBILEYES. They're developing this, like, it's called the de-escalation light. So it's a flashlight that also flashes in green and red at a certain frequency, and it's supposed to, like, stun you. It's something we're trying to test. He came, that's how we met. He's like, hey, you do a lot of like product testing and stuff like that. Would you be willing to test this out? And I said, yeah. So they're supposed to get like 1,000 units and they want people to test, like cops and military and stuff like that. Maybe I'll get you on it to test it and test the product and beat it up and see, you know, and he wants real feedback, not like, oh, great product. No, he wants actual feedback. So he's learning video and all this stuff for this project. So he's like, he just shot Devin at his boxing gym. And then we started a series called Close to the Vest where you kind of go over all the gear you carry and stuff. So that was him.
Okay.
That's his stuff. His setup's right over there.
Oh, sweet.
But, so yeah, maybe we'll go over there and shoot some stuff and you get content and we get practice.
Fuck yeah.
Sounds good. For Relentless Productions, which is coming soon. People don't know about that. That's the first time I mentioned. I just got the name down.
Sweet.
I called my account and I was like, hey, he probably hates me. I'm always like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, can we do this? And he's like, let's talk numbers. I'm like, let's just do it. We'll figure out numbers. And he's like, so I was telling him this stuff and he's like, yeah, we can do this. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do it. Dude, 2 hours later, he's like, hey, it's filed. I'm like, oh, it's a thing? I'm like, we doing this though. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Bro, I appreciate you for jumping on.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about your story, about your company. I'm excited for the readiness trials. I think it's something that's long overdue. If something's like that been done around here, I've never heard about it.
Me neither.
And it's something I'm very in tune with. So
yeah,
keep pushing, keep remaining relentless. This is the one with Ryan, and we're out. Later,
Thanks, man.
bro.